Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to try and cut through some of the noise around, feeling tired all the time. We're focusing on one really specific thing, the ferritin blood test. Basically, our mission here is to figure out why checking your iron stores is so important for understanding your real energy levels. And we're basing this deep dive on some great insights from private testing experts, specifically a guide from Blood Test UK. They serve places like Accrington and Lancashire.
Yeah, it's a great topic. Think of ferritin like your body's own little storage locker, just for iron. Iron's crucial, right? It powers your muscles, helps your brain work. This test just tells you how much iron you actually have stored away in that locker.
Yeah.
And what's really useful is that it gives you a clear number and an objective fact about your energy potential. Something just feeling tired can't really tell you.
That idea of an objective truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's key. Because, we feel run down. We think, it's just stress, maybe bad sleep.
Yeah.
So let's dig into that. Ferritin is the main protein that holds on to the iron. So what actually happens if those stores are too low? Or maybe more surprisingly, too high?
Well, if the locker's pretty empty, low ferritin, that usually means low iron overall, iron deficiency. And that classic tiredness, feeling weak, maybe looking a bit pale, that can lead to iron deficiency anemia. It often gets missed because the symptoms are so, general.
Right, common symptoms.
Exactly. But here's where the test is really valuable, the high side. High ferritin means there's actually too much iron packed away. And that can be a sign of bigger underlying problems, things like haemochromatosis, where iron builds up and can damage organs, or maybe liver disease. So you see, this one simple test can be the first step in figuring out a whole range of issues that really impact your vitality. And Blood Test UK really outlines this well.
I see. Okay. So low ferritin, it's like you're trying to run a car on fumes. But high ferritin is more like a warning light flashing on the dashboard, signaling a potential overload inside.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. A warning sign.
So measuring this is obviously pretty critical. Let's bring this down to a local level. How are places like Accrington dealing with this? You mentioned local experts like Dr. Emily Carter.
Yeah, exactly. Local healthcare providers are definitely seeing the value. They're emphasizing that getting an early, accurate diagnosis through tests like this is, honestly, the quickest way to improve someone's quality of life. And the test itself, super straightforward, just a simple blood draw.
Okay, simple enough, but preparation. You mentioned telling your doctor about vitamins or supplements. Why is that so important, especially iron pills?
Yes. Because taking things like iron supplements or even sometimes large amounts of vitamin C can sort of skew the results. They might temporarily bump up the number you see in the blood, but that doesn't reflect your true long-term storage level. You want a clear, honest reading of what's actually in the locker, not what you just put in there.
Got it. So you need the baseline. And this is where the benefits really kind of hit home, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guide from Blood Test UK mentioned a local story, a young athlete in the Accrington area.
Oh yeah, that's a powerful example. This athlete was incredibly tired, just exhausted all the time, thinking about quitting their sport entirely. They figured it was just burnout from intense training. But a ferritin test showed their iron stores were really low.
And the outcome?
With the right support, getting those iron levels back up, they felt better incredibly quickly, regained their energy, their performance back in the game, all from spotting that one low number early on.
Wow. That's a huge difference from just one test.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond individuals. This kind of data actually influences local health policy. Seeing patterns in ferritin results has led to community programs, say in Accrington, focusing on iron-rich diets, especially for groups at higher risk, like pregnant women or young children. It's about building a healthier community from the ground up.
That's really proactive. So, okay, if you're listening, maybe you're in or near Accrington. How do you actually get this test done? The Blood Test UK guide mentions a few places. Accrington Medical Centre, Accrington Health Clinic.
Mm-hmm. And the East Lancashire Hospital's NHS Trust is another major one. There are different ways to access it.
Right. And cost is a factor too, isn't it? Privately, maybe around £30, £40.
Somewhere in that ballpark, yeah. But it's worth remembering the NHS, the National Health Service, might cover it if your GP thinks it's medically necessary. So there are pathways for everyone.
And the goal is normalizing those levels, whatever the result.
Exactly. Getting those iron levels right, based on the test, it leads to real quality of life improvements. More energy, thinking clearer, better physical stamina, moving away from that constant drag.
So what happens after the test if it's low?
If it's low, the advice is often pretty straightforward. Maybe focus on iron-rich foods, red meat, leafy greens, lentils, or sometimes targeted iron supplements are needed.
And if it's high?
If it's high, that's usually a trigger for more investigation. Doctors will want to dig deeper to find out why it's high. What's the underlying cause?
Okay. So wrapping this up, using resources like the local guides from Blood Test UK seems really empowering. It helps you understand something that sounds complex, like iron storage, but is actually quite simple and potentially life-changing. It turns that vague feeling of fatigue into something you can actually measure and hopefully fix.
Precisely. And maybe one last little detail for you to think about regarding your own results. Did you know the normal range for ferritin isn't the same for everyone? It's quite different for men and women.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, typically for men, the normal range might be something like 30 up to 300 nanograms per milliliter. But for women, it often starts lower, maybe around 15, and goes up to about 150 ng/ml. It just highlights why getting your specific number and then actually talking it through with your doctor or healthcare provider is so vital. Your normal is personal.